Hello guys and welcome to Mark Shrimp Tanks. Today we're going to be talking about this. This is a SÖCHTING Oxydator. I'm going to explain to you guys what it is because I've been asked quite a few times, Mark, what is this glass thing in your tank? What this basically does, guys, is this is a little device that's pretty ingenious that doses very small amounts of hydrogen peroxide into the water. Okay, I'm going to switch you to macro mode so you can see. You can tell I've just put this in because the shrimp are going nuts. There's a cool little halo going on here as well. I'm going to switch to macro mode. Alright guys, so how this basically works, right, is there's in this little jar here there is hydrogen peroxide, and inside this little jar, let's see, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to focus here, but we shall try. I should be able to focus because it's in macro mode. Eventually it will, I know. Will it? Come on, focus, you mother effer. You can just see in the jar, see all the tiny bubbles rising up in the middle? You see it, sometimes it goes in focus, sometimes it doesn't. Let me go back a little bit. A little bit more. Anyway, I will show you this more in detail in a second. How this works, guys, is the hydrogen peroxide that's in here, there's a chemical reaction basically, and there's a little catalyst that's in the bottom of this container that is made up of ceramic, a ceramic media, and it also has some kind of a silver element in it that reacts with the hydrogen peroxide. Okay, so this hydrogen peroxide in here is producing oxygen inside this little container. What this does is it makes this giant bubble. Okay, as the oxygen rises inside here, it creates a bubble because this is a sealed container, and it pushes the hydrogen peroxide down through two tiny holes in the base of this device inside this ceramic dish here. Okay, and what that does is it forces out tiny amounts of hydrogen peroxide into the water. Now that water is then oxidized. Anything that's in the water that is organic, etc., will kind of be cleaned and neutralized. It also works against things like nitrate, etc. This is a good way to lower your nitrates a little bit. You can actually see the process here. See all these tiny little bubbles? This is it actually working. What I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to take this out of the tank. I'm going to take it apart so you can see in a little bit more detail how it works. And what I'll probably do as well is I'll try and focus on some of these bubbles and get that on camera for you as well, okay? One momento. Okay guys, so here we have our hydrogen peroxide doser, as I like to call it, SÖCHTING Oxydator in other words. And I'm going to take it apart to show you what it looks like inside and try and give you as much light as possible as we go. Okay, so here we have the container, the vessel. I like to call this like a little bell container because at the bottom here on this little plastic piece there are two tiny little holes that leach out hydrogen peroxide. This is pretty easy to come off. You just push like so and drop your little catalysts. Okay, now these catalysts are made from, I'm led to believe they're made from some kind of ceramic that has silver inside, and these react with the hydrogen peroxide. Right, this is the hydrogen peroxide I use. This is 6% food grade hydrogen peroxide. I'm just going to fill this up and show you it. Now these ones, they are recommended to fill up to 90%, so that's what we're going to do. We're just going to refill this up to roughly 90%, okay? And then you put your catalyst back in. Look. Look. Before I put the lid on, I'm just going to go to macro mode to show you the two little holes here, because it's quite important that I think you see everything as I go along. Okay guys, I hope this shows it a little bit better. These are the two little holes in the top of the cap that leach out the hydrogen peroxide that lets you have the reaction with your aquarium water, okay? The little tabs on the edge here, you can see my finger just there. These tabs are only there to hold this container and the plastic part into this ceramic container, okay? Okay, so this plastic part then fits back onto the top of here, like that, and then you see it like this, see the little tabs on the end, and these fit snugly into this ceramic bowl. Right, and how this works inside the aquarium is, once this hydrogen peroxide is deleted, this is actually filled with gas. Okay, and gas is lighter than air, and in most of the cases of mines what happens is, once it fills with gas, it most of the time wants to float away like this, and this is how you can see if you need to refill it, in case you forget, because often I do. Most of the time they do try and float away, like you'll see them like this on the edge, but this seems to be a perfect counterweight, so you might not see it all the time. Okay, we're going to put this back in the tank. Okay guys, so this was an incredibly hard shot for me to get because I'm trying to focus on bubbles through a glass container that is see-through, but here you could just see on the right hand side, you can see all the bubbles floating up to the top. These ones are inside the container, okay, and they will float up to the top and they will make that little gas bubble I was talking about. Let's go to it right now. Okay, so here in this shot you can see just on the left hand side, you can see the bubbles climbing the glass on the inside. As this gas bubble in front of us here gets bigger, it will push down the hydrogen peroxide and it will go through those two little holes that I showed you earlier. Okay, and then there is a reaction in the very bottom down here under that plastic plate, and you can see the results here with all the gas bubbles floating up to the top. Now what is absolutely fantastic about hydrogen peroxide is that there is no waste from it. Okay, there's no harmful chemical waste, because basically what hydrogen peroxide is oxygen and hydrogen mixed together, and when there's that little reaction in the bottom, it splits the two. I think you get two different types of oxygen, and then there is water as well. And you have to remember guys, I'm telling you in layman terms of my basic science stuff, right? I don't want anybody coming in here saying, oh no, that's wrong, you don't know what you're talking about. I know what I'm talking about, I'm just not very good at explaining things. So I hope this video was good enough for some of you guys to understand what a SÖCHTING Oxydator does. It chemically can clean the water and oxidize the water. I wish I can get that plume a little bit better. Let's see. There you go, dumbass. Okay, so that is what a hydrogen doser SÖCHTING Oxydator does. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'll catch you all in the next one. Happy blurry shrimp keeping!